Sorry, I'm 2 minutes late. Why isn't the chat working? Sir? Also my hair is like weirding me out right now. I wish I had brought a clip in here for it. I guess I have a chip clip, but oh, good, there's a hair tie. Look, I'm wearing my merch. Is anyone here? No one's here. I'll wait till anyone's here for you to see. I'm gonna put some of my hair up. Hello, now you're here. Happy Wednesday. Did not feel like a Wednesday. Oh, motherfucker. I'm finally here live. Sound off if it's your first time here live. We love it that someone's here live for the first time. Okay. Can you hear me and see me okay? Ooh, first live. Yay. Well, that looks worse. I hate that. You guys know when no matter what you do, it looks wrong? Do you guys know what I mean? Where no matter what you do, it looks wrong? Anyway, now people are here. I'm going to show you my merch. This is going to be for sale soon. Another thing that I fucking meant to do is bring this. I have this same design in multiple different things, like t-shirts, a tote bag, a tank top. I've done a lot of different stuff, but I wanted to show it to you. So it says Body by Ibuprofen. Let me turn the light down so you can see it a little better. It says Body by Ibuprofen. God, my yitties are really on camera right now, but that's fine, I guess. Body by Ibuprofen, and then it has a little crying cowgirl emoji, and then it says a Walmart parking lot on the cap of the bottle. Girl, whatever. Whatever. The hair is giving Cindy Lou Who vibes. I'm really hating it. I am absolutely hating it. I have no idea what or who Lularoe is. Perfect. I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, do I want to have people that know what I'm talking about or people that don't know what I'm talking about? And I was like, I kind of think, I don't know, like, okay, sound off in the chat if you know what Lularoe is. Like if I say, I think I figured out why I don't like this. Like if I say Lularoe and that means something to you. Okay. Love that. I know a lot. Absolutely not. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I know her. Lularoe her. I don't even know her. That should have been the title. Okay, we hate her. Period. All the stay-at-home moms in my hometown sold it. Oh, God. Also, I love how on my new streaming software, the chat is pink on the screen. Okay, that is better. I don't like the little pieces that are sticking out. That's making me like feel really violent thoughts. But okay, I'm feeling a lot better about this. No, I'm not. I hate it. I hate it again. I hate it again, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. The way that their logo, you could even say that their logo somewhat resembles a pyramid. In some ways, from the top, it looks like a pyramid, but from the top. Full bun. I don't want a full bun right now. I don't like the way it looks. Okay, that's better. That's as good as we're getting. I don't hate that. My arms are so tired. What's my heart rate right now? Why does it think? My heart rate is 102. That's like not nothing. But anyway, what do you guys think of the merch? I feel like I moved on from that too fast. Do we like the merch? Do you like it? Tell me I'm good. This is my favorite piece, the Body by Ibuprofen one. Love the merch. She's slaying. Queen's already getting worked up. No, I meant my arms were tired from putting my hair up. Like it's a really big workout. Okay, so the merch should be out, I would say roughly 2 weeks it'll be available to order. That's my timeline. Because I think it'll take me a week to finish everything. But I always think that I can do more than I can, which a lot of people say that that's a bad thing, but I think that's a good thing because I get a lot more done than most people. So I'd rather have overly high expectations than low because you're never going to rise to, like, if your expectations are low, you'll never do better than that, you know? 2 weeks, that's pretty quick. So because I've been working on it for literally 7 months, but I've been working super slow because I kind of had the idea and canvaed up some stuff and then didn't do anything for a really, really long time. Why is my computer doing that? Didn't really do anything for a very long time, just kind of sat on it. Sparkling Sweet Tea, thanks for subscribing with Prime. That's an MLM mindset, bestie. I think I would do very well in an MLM. I'm going to be honest. But anyway, I sat on the designs, wasn't doing anything because I just like was overwhelmed by it. And then I was like, all right, I actually want to do this. So then I figured out how to use Shopify and Printful, and then I set everything up, and then I was trying to do the payment stuff, but it was weird, and I don't know. And then I finally finished like making everything in Shopify. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to put it for sale until I'm like, I have it in my hands. So then I ordered everything, and I was hoping, I didn't think it would happen, but I was like, it'd be super dope if everything's perfect and I don't have to do another round of revisions here. But that wasn't the case. But it honestly went better, so much better than I was anticipating, because there were only like 2 or 3 things that I tweaked. And then when I saw stuff in person, like I loved the bags. I didn't think I would love the bags. So I was like, okay, I want to do more bags. Like I was only going to do the design on 2 bags, or I was only going to do 2 designs on the bags, but then I got the bag and I was like, I fucking love these bags, and they're really cheap, which I feel like I just like when merch is cheap. So I was like, I should do more bags. So like there's a couple changes, but it was mostly like because I liked stuff, I wanted to make more variations of it. And then like some of the white stuff I felt like was a little bit see-through, so I decided to do it in black instead. Just little things like that. But overall, I was really happy with the vendor and the company and the shipping and all of that. I felt like it was a really good process. So all that to say, I got to that point, and then I was like, all right, now I feel like I'm ready to do this. So then I tried to set up the payment thing, and then I realized because I don't have an LLC, the payment thing is just like, it's just going to be, this isn't a Walmart parking lot. I'm out. I'm sorry, best friends 15. It's better than that. That's me. I'm the Walmart parking lot. But anyway, I realized like if I have an LLC, I can just, it's better. I'll be able to accept more payment types. So rather than just having to use PayPal, you'd be able to use like a debit card or a credit card. I won't have to pay as much in fees, and I won't have to pay as much in taxes. So I was like, why would I overcomplicate things and like do it not under an LLC and then change to an LLC? So I was like, let me just do the LLC first so that everything will be under the same thing. So I have an appointment with like one of those little internet lawyers to form an LLC. So then once I form the LLC, then I can set it up through a business PayPal. So I don't even think I have to get a business bank account. But anyway, that's the plan. Oh my God, I forgot to go live on TikTok. Can you sew us the bag? It's like all the way in the other room, and I don't want to get up, but I'll show it next time. Do I have a picture of the bag? I bet I have a picture of the bag. Let me go live really quick. My teeth have been killing me. Okay. Live. Look. My iPad's being really slow. Incredible iPad case. I love it because I can leave it in the front seat of my car, and it just looks like a composition book, so no one takes it. One of my students had this, and I was like, that is a sleigh. Barbie beverage, what's that? I finished crocheting my Pride outfit. Nice. Can this app work, please? There we go. Not Lularoe. God. I'm sure this is a horrifying angle. So that's great. I've been feeling very, like, not good recently. Like, you know when you just go through, like, your ugly phase and you're just like, I'm just ugly right now, and it's fine. Like, it'll be over in, like, 2 weeks. I'm just in an ugly phase right now. And I'm not saying that for you to say anything. I just wanted to tell you why I keep being self-deprecating. I was telling my boyfriend that. I was like, you know when you're just in an ugly phase? And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You look the same. And I was like, no, I'm actually getting a haircut tomorrow. I think that's part of it, is like my hair is kind of dead right now. And I was supposed to get a haircut last week, but she had an ear infection, so we rescheduled. So I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, and I think that'll fix it. But you guys know what I mean, where you're just like, oh, I'm kind of in an ugly phase right now. So that's the thing. Someone said mine comes around my period. I have tracked my ugly phases with my period, and there does not appear to be a correlation. An ugliest girl in the world attack. Yes, exactly. Men are always... Okay, so let's go ahead and get fucking into it. I want to talk, and I want you to listen. Actually, I really want you guys to engage in the chat. I'm really excited about this one. But today we are going to be talking about Lularoe. If you do not know what Lularoe is is a very large pyramid scheme, and they sell primarily women's clothing. They are mainly known for their leggings. So we're going to be talking about the people who created it, how they're all batshit fucking crazy, the company, how it started, how it got big, how it got popular, bad things that happened, where they are now, all through the fun stuff. So I am so glad you are here. Very excited for this lesson. I also have an announcement to make. Starting, not this week, because we're in this week right now, but this upcoming week, so a week from today, June 7th, class will start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Class has usually started at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It used to, when I first, way back in the day, started streaming, it started at 7. I changed it to 7:30 because traffic was getting really bad and it was hard for me to get home from work and get on here by 7, but my work schedule is changing a little bit, so I want to put it back to 7. So yes, it's going to be, I go to bed so late when we go past 9, same. So it's going to be 30 minutes earlier, which I am very excited about. So we love the shift. Glad. I don't know why I thought people would be upset. I'm the type of person, I really like consistency and I don't like changing things unnecessarily, especially when it comes to schedules. But yeah, shout out if you remember the 2 streams a week. That's the other thing. So also because my work schedule is changing, starting this upcoming week, I will be streaming Mondays around lunchtime. I'm not going to do it at a specific time, but somewhere like 12 to 2 on Mondays, 12 to 2 Eastern. I should have put that in here as well. But yeah, starting this upcoming week, because my work schedule, like I said, is just kind of shifting a little bit. Nothing crazy. It's just, corporate America is fucking weird and schedules be changing. So I will start streaming on Mondays around midday lunchtime vibes. And what I'm going to be doing is playing video games, but not the video games that people play on stream, like Call of Duty and like fun stuff like that. I'm going to be playing the old like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon computer games. So like, do you guys remember like the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody computer games with like the pizza and you'd be like running up and down the building? And then I also like the Lilo and Stitch sandwich stacker game, and then like the My Scene and Barbie games. We're gonna be playing those. So it'll also just be like me talking. So we're gonna start doing that on Mondays. That's not gonna be a forever thing. That's not gonna be like a every week for the rest of forever, but I think I'm gonna do it for the summer, just as like a fun summer series while my work is kind of in this weird schedule right now. Love My Scene and Barbie games. Such good vibes. Okay, so this is insane. I have work off every Monday. Great. Love that. Is your role changing? Kind of. Not really, but kind of. Corporate America is so dumb. Can I just say that? Like, they always are like, we're going to re-synergize. And then they announce changes that are like barely different, but I guess different. So like, what the fuck ever. Like, nothing's really changing, so I don't fucking care. And I like the schedule better. So I'm like, woohoo! So yeah, it'll be recess. That's a good thing. I'm going to use that. Thanks, Snilla Zizi. Okay, I figured Monday was a good day. A lot of people don't work on Mondays. Like, my Lash Girl doesn't work on Mondays. I hate corporate America, but I might get a raise this month, so I have to be nice. Yeah, Kim Possible game. I'll add that one to the list. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Lularoe now that we got the annoying announcements out of the way. So if you have never heard of Lularoe, I haven't seen you on my FYP in months. Yeah, these bitches are trying to hate on me. The highly controversial Lularoe is a multi-level marketing company, clothing company, that's redundant, that started in 2012, but the roots go all the way back to 1988 when Deanne Stidham, a mom on a budget, was looking for fashionable clothes for her little daughters. Back in 1988, Deanne's business sense perked up when she found a guy at a swap meet selling dresses that her girls would love at a fraction of the cost of department stores. So she basically saw this guy and she was like, hey, these dresses are cheap as fuck. And he was like, yeah, they are. And she was like, maybe instead of me making dresses, I could just buy these and sell them to other people. And he was like, that's your business, I guess. But anyway, where was I? Deanne realized that other moms she knew would love these dresses for their children, so she started hosting selling parties. Deanne was on a mission to make this business grow for her. She would book up to 15 parties a week in 3 different states, Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. I think they were living in Utah at this time. Did it say? I think it was Utah. They're Mormons. But anyway, so she was just buying all these dresses and then would go around and do parties and have people buy them. That's like, MLMs had been doing that. So she was kind of using the MLM business model, but she wasn't in an LLM. She was just doing her stuff. Of course, it's Utah. If you were here for the Jen Shaw stream, you know that Utah has a lot of pyramid schemes in it. Anyway, at the time, her husband Mark would drive up. Oh, wait, where was I? She even learned to sew herself, added her own handmade maxi dresses to her selling party. So, maxi skirts were her first invention. This thing says dresses, but it's skirts. That's in the game, maxi skirts. A Lularoe parking lot subscribed with Prime. Also, if you like to watch me and want to support me and want me to stream more, a great way you can do that is by subscribing with Prime. If you use Amazon Prime, you can connect your account for free. It's in your settings and you get a couple free subscriptions. So I get a couple of dollars a month so that I can spend less time slaving away for corporate America and more time making slides to teach you guys about random shit like Lularoe. So every person that Prime subscribes gets us closer to me being on here more days a week. Maxi skirt is a staple item for the 2000s church camp. Exactly. Okay, so at the time, Mark, her husband, would often drive to, oh wait, I keep skipping stuff. What is wrong with me? Deanne was able to make a good living for over 2 decades, selling clothes in these parties within a traditional business structure. So like I said, it's not an MLM, it's just her. And her husband, Mark, would drive to LA to pick up fabric and patterns for Deanne. During this time, the idea of limited patterns, which was a huge part of Lularoe's hype, became the allure of what Deanne was doing. She would sell out of certain patterns of skirts because customers feared they would not be available again. So because her husband was going downtown, Just Vale, thanks for subscribing. Ooh, and a good call out. Just remember, renew every month. They won't do it automatically. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. But basically, because her husband was getting these like random fabrics and she was making the skirts out of them, if she had like a floral print that you liked, you could not count on her having it next time she came to your little party at your house in your little town. So that's why people really started buying her from her. Scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset. Buy random shit and make it a feature. So this is her working for a living era. Here's her selling the little dresses. This is before she started doing the maxi skirts, but you can see her here with the dresses. And this picture is really a mood. Like, I really feel that pic. So when people are like, did she steal from people? Like, did she defraud them? Did she, like, do terrible things? Yeah, she did. But at the end of the day, she did it because she was tired of working. And that I can get. Oh, we're going to talk about their children that are married. We will be talking about it. Who dared to call me when I'm so busy? How I feel each day that I have to go into work and do the corporate gig. Girl boss gaslight. I'm playing this gaslight gatekeep girl boss bingo with her. Wish brand Kris Jenner. Yeah, so like this photo, I understand it. I sold and did well, but it was effing terrible. Not people that were in the Lularoe moment here. So June 2012 is when she designs her first signature maxi skirt. Apparently at this point her sister was helping her, and then now her sister is not involved in the business. I could not really find more tea on that, but it seems like her sister got out once it became like a business involving other people is the timeline that I pieced together, but I didn't make a slide about it because I really couldn't find anything. Can't explain it, but it's so 2012. I could explain it. Look at the print. Look at the phone case. Look at the shirt. Look at the pose. Everything about it is 2012, not victims being in here. Exactly. So we're going to respect the victims because there's a podcast I love, and they say this. They say, we're scumbags, but we're not assholes. Or we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. Something like that. We're going to respect the victims. If you were a Lularoe victim, I'm not going to disrespect you on this call. I'm not going to disrespect you in this fucking video. I'm not going to do it because I joined a pyramid scheme one time. I was a doTERRA girly. I bought the startup kit. So yeah, like I'll fucking be real with you on this call. Work is rotting my brain, but also this is how I talk at work too. It kind of makes people uncomfortable, but I think it's fun. Mother. So side note to the person on the TikTok chat that just called me mother, and also for those of you on TikTok, if you want to see the picture that we're referring to, come to Twitch, a Walmart parking lot on Twitch. It's the first link on my link tree. And you'll be able to see the pictures. It's free to watch it. But anyway, someone in the chat on TikTok just called me mother. It reminded me that this guy I work with, he's like the marketing sales whatever fucking guy. He used to do merch for companies. Like that was his side hustle. Like if he ran a small business, he would design you merch. So because I'm working on merch, I was like, help me. And so he was looking at the designs and he was helping me with stuff. And then he was telling me I wasn't going to post anything or like talk about anything until it was released. And he was like, you're being stupid. You need to talk about it a lot and try and build hype around it so that people are looking forward to it. He was like, you put a lot of work into this and people should see how much work you've put into it. Like if you pop up like it's no big deal, people are going to treat it like it's no big deal. And he was like, people want to support you, so talk about it. And so because of that, I'm posting about it more like on Instagram and stuff. And he was like, oh, how is it going? And he saw one of the comments said like, slay, yes, mommy, or something like that. And he is so fucking scared now. He does not want to look at my social media at all. He's still helping me, but he was like, don't show me that. Like, he was like, why do they call you that? A man giving good advice, weird. Most men are terrible, but he's great. There's a list of probably like 7 men that I like genuinely respect, and he's on it. Just got here. What's going on? We're talking about Lularoe. Okay, I should have taken a Motrin, but I think I'm out. But anyway, continuing. So the beginning of Lularoe in 2012, that changed. In 2012, everything changed when another woman tried to sell the skirts. So this is when it became like, oh, it's not just Deanne doing it now, because Deanne was hauling ass around this country. She was going to different states. She was doing all these parties. Sister Wives next, please. I did Sister Wives. It's on YouTube. It's my highest viewed YouTube video. I'm very proud to say. But anyway, another woman wanted to sell her skirts. They figured out a price so that the other woman, they figured out a price to sell to this woman so they could make a profit and she could sell them to make a profit herself. This is Deanne's first downline, and Lularoe LLC was founded soon after. So the woman's name, Ashley Rowson, formerly Ashley Lautaha. She's Hawaiian, I believe. She was one of the first retailers to join Lularoe. Under an MLM structure, the earlier someone comes on board, the more potential they have to make good money long term. So if you're going to join a pyramid scheme, you need to ask how long it's been around for. And if it's been a while, don't join it. But if it's new, I'm not going to tell you that it's a bad idea, because I have a friend who joined doTERRA early on, and it's her full-time job, and she's rich as fuck. So like, because she was in there early, because she was doing home organization. So she would come to people's houses and organize their houses and clean and stuff. But it was like not like cleaning like that. Like it was like you would hire her to like organize your closet and she would clean as a part of that, not like your whole house. But anyway, she got introduced to it because she was like, oh, this could smell good in the people's houses. And that's how she found out about doTERRA. Like literally when it was so fucking new. So she has like 1 million people in her downline. I was in her downline. But anyway, okay. I digress. So, Ashley was born in Hawaii and she was living in Washington when she bumped into Lularoe. Her husband was deployed in the military. She became, a lot of military wives are part of Lularoe. She became intrigued by Lularoe after seeing somebody on social media wearing a maxi skirt from the company. She joined because she had seen people posting Lularoe maxi skirts on social media, but couldn't figure out where to order them for herself. This is another hallmark of MLMs, where you have to have a real life person to sell you the product, and you cannot buy it from a website where the inventory is available to everyone. When she discovered that she couldn't buy it online, she called the company and spoke with Deanne. Ashley was fascinated when Deanne mentioned a possible business opportunity of selling Lularoe items. So this is how she found one of her first distributors. I don't know if Ashley was first or second, but this is kind of how it started. So, Deanne even flew out to Washington to help Deanne. That's a typo, sorry. Deanne even flew out to Washington to help Ashley set up her new business, and she even showed Ashley how to fold the clothes. Ashley was hosting pop-up parties and had Tupperwares full of maxi skirts, and Ashley says the goal was always making money and making a new contact. So she would have these tubs, and she talked about in the Lula Rich documentary, she's in it, how she would like be pregnant with these tubs and be hosting these parties, and she was hosting like multiple parties a week, and she was really raking in the cash, I guess. Ashley was parenting 2 children at the time and expecting another. She loved spending time with her children and family at the age of 25. Oh, I'm 25. Not her having 3 kids and me doing fucking live streams about pyramid schemes. Stop. I don't like that she was 25. 3 kids at 25 being one of the OGs of an MLM. Good for her. I wouldn't even... I'm scared. With the Jersey Shore note and a skeleton in the back. Stop. Stop. But we're slightly less annoying than 3 babies. No, you guys are fun as shit, and 3 babies would, like, ask me for stuff and, like, wake me up while I'm sleeping. Not Hawaiian, Tongan, I believe. It said she was born in Hawaii. But maybe she's, like, you know, where you're born is not necessarily where, like, your genetic ancestry is from, so I don't know. Where was I? Okay, she was sold on the concept of working from home while spending time with her kids. Therefore, in 2013, she was officially Lularoe's 3rd retailer, and she would bring product to people's homes and sell it to them. So, now that we kind of know how this business came to be and how it started, let's talk about Deanne Brady, because this is... Not Deanne Brady. What the fuck is wrong with me? What was wrong with me when I made this? Anyway, Deanne has had a lot of last names. She's been married twice. But anyway, both Deanne, whose maiden name is literally Startup, and her husband Mark come from entrepreneurial families. Deanne's great-grandfather, William Startup, opened the first candy business in England in the 1800s, according to Lularoe. I think that is a fucking lie. There is no way her family had the first candy business in England. I'm sorry. I am going to call fucking bullshit on that. Ironic his name is Startup. In 1895, he created the first filled candy bar after moving to Utah. I'll believe the Utah one. I'll believe the Utah one. I will believe that he was the first person to open a candy shop in Utah in the 1890s. That's fine. I believe that. I think that's kind of plausible. But the first one in England? Nah, I'm fucking calling bullshit there. The Startup Candy Company was based in Utah and is still in operation today. Deanne's dad, Albert Startup, was the great-grandson of Hiram Smith, the older brother of the Mormon Church's founder and prophet, Joseph Smith. BuzzFeed News reported last year. So they're like deep in the fucking Mormon Church. Albert and his wife, Deanne's mother, Maureen, founded the American Family and Femininity Institute in 1945. And the New York Times reported in 1972 that its goal was to reinforce the idea that women belonged in the home. Maureen's startup published a book called The Secret Power of Femininity in 1969. So these people are fucking crazy. Let me just tell you this. Before I read this, these people are crazy. The New York Times offered several juicy quotes from the text, including its tip for women to practice in advance on exactly how they would manipulate men. This is a quote I'm reading from the Lularoe lady, Deanne. This is from her mother's book, just to level set of where we are. Deanne's mother wrote this in a book, okay? Stand before a mirror in the privacy of your room and say to yourself, I am just a helpless woman at the mercy of you big, strong men. With this thought in mind, try a pretty pout, stick out your lower lips as much to say, I thought you liked me. Or stamp your feet daintily, saucily, and shake your curls as much to say, I am furious. But what can a little girl like me do with such a big, strong man like you? What the actual fuck? I'm terrified. That was so painful to read. I can't do this. I don't know if I can finish it. Act like a child to attract your adult male partner. Like, Mormonism needs to be studied. What the fuck is going on here? And this was in the 60s. Women could vote. Like, we will never be free. Can I just say that right now? We will never, ever be free. Like, we will never be free from the shackles of patriarchy. We will never be free. Ever. You are a grown woman, Deanne. It gets worse. Okay. Stomp your foot. Beat your hands on your husband's chest. Men love this. The second my boyfriend walks in tonight, I'm going to beat my hands on his chest and see how he reacts. Then, after getting his attention... I can't do this, you guys. I can't do this. After getting getting his attention, ask him, how can a great big man like you pick on a poor little helpless girl like me? Immediately no. Immediately no. Like, immediately no. And again, just to level set, the woman that started Lularoe, her mother wrote this in the 1960s. This is not from the 1800s. This is from the mother of the Lularoe creator in 1969. Prison. That is not in the Bible. Like, immediately to jail. Immediately prison, hard time. No. Immediately no. It's a no from me. It's a no now. It's a no today. It's a no tomorrow. It's a no forever. No. I just made this meme, but we have to move on from this. I physically cannot talk about this anymore. And that's in the name of feminism. It's just, why would you write that when you could just not write that, you know? So that, just to give you context about the culture that Deanne comes from, just to give you, that's where we're at. That's like the beginning. That's day one. Deanne had 7 children from her marriage with her first husband, Kenneth Brady. Those kids are, and again, they're Mormon. 7 kids is like totes normal in Utah Mormon land, especially during this time. I think her kids probably would have been born in like the, I would guess, 70s. I would have to take a guess. That's so much kids get normal in Utah. I should do a stream just about Utah. What's going on there? I should do it live from Utah. Babe, do you want to go to Salt Lake City? Anyway, Deanne had 7 kids from her first marriage. Kenny, Amelia, Nicole, Jordan, Alexandru, and Michael and Daniela. Kenny, Amelia, Nicole, and Jordan are Deanne and Kenneth's biological children. Alexandru, Michael, and Daniela were adopted from Romania in the 1990s. So that's how she had those 7 kids. And then her and that guy got divorced, I guess. We didn't even have time to get into that. They got divorced. Mark also had 4 children from her previous marriage with Susan Stidham. So when they combined their families in 1998, they had a total of 11 kids between them. And then they say that they adopted these brothers that had been abandoned at ages 6 and 7, and then they adopted another daughter named Anna. So they have 14 kids between them, which is crazy. Imagine, I can see how you have 4 kids. Like, I think having 4 kids would be a vibe for me. Like, I get having 4 kids, and then you marry someone that has a lot of kids, and you're like, fuck, we have a shit ton of kids right now. Like, I get how that happens. Why would you go on to attain more? Like, why, when you already have 11, what was their house like? Where did they sleep? What did they eat? A whole baseball team. Like, why would you attain more? Like, you have 11. I feel like doing the other 3 adoptions was not necessary, but they did say those kids were abandoned, so I guess I'm glad someone gave them, like, food and shelter. They probably fucked them up in other ways, but, you know. And then this is the real kicker right here. Their daughter that was adopted, Anna, would go on to marry Deanne's adopted son, Michael. So that guy, Michael, that she adopted in the 1990s, ended up marrying Anna. I don't know what their age difference was. And so this is what the husband said. He said, so out of our 14 children, 2 of them are married. And then Mark said, totally normal and not weird at all, and immediately clarified that they are not biologically related, nor did they grow up under the same roof. Because they were saying, oh, by the time we adopted Anna, Michael was like already out of the house. But that would mean that like he was an adult and she was a minor. I don't know. I'm terrified. Folgers commercial, stop. Banjos enter the chat. If you have to say technically they're not related, it's bad. Be homeless or live with Mormons is crazy. Was a crazy would you rather? Be a homeless 7-year-old or live with Mormons? Your pick. Why do they think that's better? It all goes back to leggings. So that's their family before they were rich. And people always get less crazy when they're rich, right? When people get more access to power and money, they usually improve in their personalities, I've seen. Why would you let your kids get married? Imagine the wedding. There's only one. That wedding's a family reunion. That's not a wedding, it's a family reunion. Their in-laws are their parents. Like, and then their kids only have one set of grandparents. Like, there's just so much wrong and absolutely nothing right. Like, who pays for the wedding? There's only them. Who else? Like, I know we're only 30 minutes in and we're only on slide 13. Fuck, I always do this, but this is just a lot. Okay, anyway, many of the kids also worked at Lularoe. So in the LuLaRich series, Deanne and Mark explained that one of the first steps in building the business was to ask their family to join the business rather than hiring people with actual experience. Deanne basically said, like, when I realized we needed to hire people, I immediately wanted to hire family. Why would you hire strangers when you could hire family? I'm learning so much more than the documentary. Thank you. So Kenny, Deanne's son, was the VP of sales. Her son Jordan was hired as head of leadership and culture development. Her son-in-law Jeff Thompson, Nicole's husband, so not only her kids but also her kids' spouses, became VP of finance. Her daughter Amelia was a photographer. Amelia's husband Justin became their chief marketing officer. And Mark's son Austin was on the analytics team. And Deanne's nephew Sam was in charge of events. Literally so many reasons to not only hire family. I could see like one or two people, if they had relevant experience, you'd be like, yeah, I want someone that like knows what they're doing that I can really trust close to me. I get that, but hiring all of them with none of the experience necessary, that just seems a little much. So let's talk about the actual products. In 2014, Lularoe added skirts and dresses to its product lines. In mid-2014, Lularoe introduced a line of leggings, which would become their most prominent products. Again, their first product was maxi skirts. That's in the game. They became famous for leggings in 2014. So their main products were brightly patterned. The company's clothes tended towards modesty because they're Mormon, so obviously they're going to be modest. And Lularoe released 5,000 copies of any given pattern, and once a product was sold out, it was usually not reissued. The distributors can choose styles and sizes, but not patterns. So what that means is you can say, like, I want leggings and I want them in medium, but you're not going to know what color and pattern they are. That's going to be a surprise. And each distributor is provided different products for their inventory. Distributors have noted that some patterns known as unicorns are significantly easier to sell than others. So certain patterns that people really liked would be called unicorns, and everyone would be like looking for them and hoping to get them. Here's a shitty pattern, sell it, queen. The garments were manufactured in Asian and Central American factories via My Dyer, a Los Angeles-based apparel company that also produces for other retailers. The sister wives joining makes sense now. Exactly. And we will be talking about the sister wives. So here's some examples of the clothes. So you can see like the Amelia dress. You would say that you wanted this and you would say the sizes, but you wouldn't be able to say the colors. Cassie skirt, Lucy skirt, girls leggings, girls maxi. And this is a big thing, is they would be like, you need to be layered in Lularoe. So you were supposed to always have on multiple pieces of Lularoe. So like if you have on the skirt and the shirt, you should also throw on like the little cardigan. If you have on a dress, add that cardigan. Like they are the CEO of layers over at Lularoe. Here's some of the dresses. Also, most of the people in their pictures are distributors, and they were like being in the pics was a hot commodity. Like you didn't get paid for this. Like this meant you were hot shit in the Lularoe community. And pattern mixing. Big on pattern mixing. That's me and the girls right here. Imagine if their retailer was another LA-based manufacturer, American Apparel, LOL, double whammy. It's giving Vera Bradley the unicorn pattern. So here is their leggings. Again, this woman is wearing 3 patterns. 4 if you count the shoes. God. And then here's a bunch of their different products again. Camp Rock was taking notes. My God. No, I think if you look at the timeline, Lularoe was taking notes on Camp Rock. Okay, so let's talk about the business. Lularoe clothing is only sold by the company through MLM distributors. These distributors purchase inventory from Lularoe wholesale, which they then resell to consumers. Lularoe distributors are required to purchase an initial inventory of clothing and marketing materials that cost between $4,925 and $10,000. So roughly $5,000 to $10,000 to get started. That's on the game. How much does it cost to get started? $5,000 to $10,000. And they were recommended to keep around $20,000 worth of inventory on hand. They would say you should have multiple patterns and multiple sizes of every single thing that they had. Distributors can be compensated from two potential revenue streams, from direct sales to consumers and from commission based on sales made by downline distributors they recruit. According to a company's income disclosure statement, in 2015, the average annual commission earned from downline distributors was $85. The Lularoe distributors sell Lularoe products through a party plan, pop-up boutiques, or online using Facebook groups that they've set up. During a scheduled online event, Lularoe distributors will live stream video to present their current inventory to members of their Facebook group, with the distributor appearing on screen to exhibit and describe each item. So they would be like, we have this skirt in this pattern, it's a medium. Oh, Holly Pocket, you want to buy it? This is Holly Pocket's item. Like, it's like an auction live stream, but no one's usually bidding, and it's usually just them saying things. Lularoe distributors are disproportionately more likely to, Lularoe distributors are disproportionately more likely to be in poorer rural areas than urban ones. An example cited by Quartz notes that the Lularoe lists 10 distributors in Manhattan and 10 distributors in Pueblo, Colorado. So Manhattan has 1.6 million, and Pueblo, Colorado, has 110,000. So it's not like people in bigger cities are usually joining these nearly as often as they are in rural areas. This is consistent with other contemporary MLMs, which have concentrated in rural areas that have been slower to recover from the 2008 economic crisis. So Lularoe grew super fucking fast. In 2015, the company had around 1,000 consultants selling leggings. By April 2017, they had 80,000 consultants. 80,000 people selling Lularoe. That is their peak, is at 80,000. In 2017, it started to go downhill. Let's talk about why it started to go downhill today. So, how did this growth happen? Let's go back to one of those OG retailers, Ashley. Ashley was the third retailer. Lularoe worked on the principle that an independent retailer would make a bonus when they recruit another person to sell the products. With her initial success, she was able to get a lot of people to join because many wanted to have the same financial stability that she started to have. Ashley had about 5,000 people in her team at one point and made a substantial amount of money through the bonus checks. Good timing was a huge part of Lularoe's almost too swift success. It grew popular as Facebook permitted users to live stream in 2015, which allowed Lularoe retailers to live stream their sales. The freedom to use social media to sell coincided with the height of the hashtag girlboss era and a darker aspect of life within the U.S. Families dealing with high child care costs with no guaranteed paid parental leave policies were seeking easier ways to make money. For mothers who were pushed out of the workforce or needed extra income, or women encouraged to pursue a side hustle in order to always be earning, you couldn't beat the allure of Lularoe. Make money through fashion without leaving the house. So they really, really preyed on women who needed money I was talking about this with my boyfriend because I was talking about how I think one of the best ways to solve the current labor crisis in the U.S., where we don't have enough workers in a lot of fields, and a lot of the fields that don't pay that well are having a worker shortage. If we provided government-funded childcare, I think a lot of women would re-enter the workforce. Because I know tons of women, and I would make the same choice. If I was making $50,000 and good childcare cost $40,000, I know I can do it better myself anyway. But I know a lot of women who they wish they could work part-time or like be able to do something because they don't want to be home all day, every day. But if you do the numbers, it just is not financially logical to be working because childcare is so expensive. As a military wife in 2018, I cannot describe the chokehold they had on that market. Exactly. Okay, I was going to get into a rabbit hole, but we have to focus. So how did the company handle that much growth that quickly? To go from having 1,000 people to 80,000 people in only 2 years, from like I work in corporate operations, that is blowing my mind. How do you train them? How do you staff that? How do you recruit people fast enough? How do you put systems, like that's bananas. Like it takes If my team has to change a procedure, it takes weeks for everyone to learn how to do it. So I can't imagine having that many people coming in your building. God. So the onboarding team had a queue of about 8 weeks. So when you pay your $5,000, you have to wait 8 weeks before you can get onboarded. And for anyone that doesn't work in corporate America, let me explain what an onboarding is. I have to onboard people as a part of my job. Sometimes I hate doing it. It's really tedious. But it's basically when someone joins your organization, you're like, hey, I'm me. You're here now. This is how you log in. Let's set up your direct deposit. Let's make sure your email works. Like, you just get them into all of their shit and answer any questions that they have. And then you're kind of like, okay, you're good. Bye-bye. Doing an onboarding, I don't know what their onboarding process was like, but the company I work for, ours, I would say if I'm with someone that's good at technology, I can onboard them if I'm going quick. 45 minutes, I can onboard somebody. If I have all their stuff ready. That too, like before I even have the meeting with them, I have to make sure that all their accounts got created, and then I have the username and password, and then I give it to them. So like, I'm sure Lularoe had a little bit of a faster system than I work with, just because I work in real estate. It's a lot of legality and compliance stuff. Still don't like this. But I just cannot imagine doing 500 onboardings a day. That is absolutely bananas to me. So you had to pay your $5,000, and then you had to wait before you could even get started, and the onboarding team was being told to do 500 onboardings per day to get everyone in. How long does it take to onboard someone? Would probably depend on the person. And then they also have to have designers. Hi, kitty. They also have to have designers making all of the prints, because remember, all these people are joining and they're going to be ordering products to sell, and their whole shindig is that they only print 5,000 of one print. So some designers were apparently being told to make 100 original prints a day, and they ended up having to copy art that they found online just because no one can make 100 prints in one day. Textile designers were required to do 50 to 60 patterns each day. Colorists had to generate 20 to 30 colorways each day. Not only that, but every hour the designers had to yell out their number of how much that they did total, and a fellow designer would enter it into a spreadsheet to keep track. This created an incredibly hostile working environment where it made things very competitive amongst the designers. On top of that, the job was 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with only a 30-minute lunch break. You did have a little bit of a break time throughout the day, but because you needed to hit your numbers, I was afraid to even take my breaks. Over time, it wore me down. This is from Reddit. This is from a Reddit person that saw the documentary and was like, I worked there, and wrote a post about it. Over time, it wore me down and felt there was no support from the art department. Even being amongst my fellow designers, they didn't seem to express any discontent, so I thought it was normal from them. From what I gathered, none of the designers stayed more than a year. They either quit or were fired too early. The designers were like hamsters on a wheel, each day doing the same things over and over until they were burned out, and then they hired new designers like myself who didn't know any better as a young art graduate. Free market capitalism. For fucking real. So here are some of the Lularoe design fails, because when you are designing a pattern and you're printing it, it's important to make sure that everything lines up and like looks good and nothing is weird. Like the way you can tell the difference between, if you're buying a striped shirt, the way you can tell if something is good quality or bad quality is if the stripes line up on the side. Where there's a seam on the side, if the stripes line up, that's better quality, because that means they took the time to design the pattern and print it well enough for it to line up. If they don't line up, that's not great quality. So here are some Lularoe design fails. Most of them are centered around what appears to be genitalia, because those were the funniest ones. So a lot of them were just really ugly, but we already looked at those and all of them are ugly. So I wanted to at least show you what's funny. Triggered a memory for me. Here's the hot dogs. These are hearts, but like that looks very rough. An immediate no from me. The Dorito chips on everything. All of them just look like very artistic vaginas. I'd get it for the irony. They got a heart on. That's very cute. I love this one. I love this one. I absolutely love that. I would buy this. Oh, for those of you on TikTok, if you want to see the pictures, come to Twitch. I'm a Walmart parking lot on Twitch. First link in my link tree. We're looking at Lularoe design fails. Please join us. Thanks. Peace, love, and blessings. COVID spores. Here's another one, the pencil. Just the pencil. And then here's a unicorn coming out of your crotch. I like this one too. Jail for these designs. They had to make so many in an hour. It's very hard. Okay, so proof that this family was not qualified at all to be running this company. Brady and Stidham hired their unexperienced adult children to run crucial parts of the company. The warehouse inventory for a $1 billion company was managed on one Google spreadsheet. So anytime you are trying to go in and update inventory, there are people on the spreadsheet making edits at the same time as you. If you have 1 or 2 people, that's fine. If you have dozens of people and they're all on different devices, there's going to be a little bit of a lag time. So you're going to end up fucking up each other's work and you're going to fuck up all the formulas. Never met a Google spreadsheet company. My company uses Google spreadsheets, but the finance department uses Excel. But like ops, we use Google spreadsheets because we're a Google Mac company. But like the money people, they get Excel. One time I made a comment because one of the money people was in my office and I was like, you have Excel? And he was like, if you ever see a finance person using Google spreadsheets, run. And I was like, okay. Okay, so anyway, in the Lularoe documentary, Deanne mentioned that Lularoe used Excel and Google Docs to keep track of inventory, but only because they tried fancy software, but it was obsolete as soon as they set it up. That makes no sense. So an example of what they should have been using is something like Salesforce. Like Salesforce is it's a database. It's like a client information database. That would be great for things. Well, maybe not inventory. But anyway, there's lots of software companies to do things like inventory where you set it up and you pay them, and it's great. Sorry, someone sent a link that was long. Okay. Anyway, did any of the issues of staffing ability make them slow down? No. Let's talk about their recruitment strategies. So despite the fact that they can't get a good computer system, they're 8 weeks behind on onboarding. They're doing 500 onboardings a day. They can't keep up with the patterns. As a data analyst, that Google sheet haunts me. Oh, wait, is this the spreadsheet? Oh my God, did you find it? Is that what that was? I'm going to copy this and I'm going to open it in a new window in case you sent me something spooky. Oh, you're showing me, that's different. Oh shit. Here, I'll put it back in here. You are showing me this Lularoe print. That's the founder's face. We will be looking at a different similar one. I was hoping you somehow had the Google spreadsheet. I don't know why I thought you would have that. This class is going to break the spreadsheet once again. Are you on the Vanderpump drama? I want to be. I'm not, but I want to be a part of the Vanderpump drama. I need to watch it because I don't know what's going on. Don't tell me because I want to watch it from start to finish. And everyone's like, oh, there's a guide of which episodes you need to understand it. No, I'm going to watch it as nature intended from start to finish. Okay, so anyway. Early consultants were being allegedly instructed to write down the names of 50 people that they could possibly recruit. Lularoe's marketing strategy heavily focused on stay-at-home moms with the promise that they'd be able to make full-time income for part-time work. Consultants allegedly were pressured to post their successes on social media with the hashtag because of Lularoe. A lot of people lost their marriages, their lives were in shambles. People were selling breast milk for startup cost. Lachey Kimbrough Benson, who started as an administrative assistant at the company's headquarters in 2015, told The Guardian. People were taking out loans, all kind of stuff, and Mark and Deanne knew that. So this woman, she was in the Lularoe documentary. She seems great. The moldy leggings saga begins. So warehouse workers were allegedly expected to handle 15 million units a day. So at one point, the warehouse was so packed that they began storing thousands of leggings outside where they were exposed to the elements. So the leggings developed holes and mold in them, and Lularoe shipped them out anyway. Yes, it was awful. Got spammed by so many. 50, I don't even know 20 people. I don't know 20 people either. If you asked me to recruit 50 people to an MLM, I'd be like, I don't know, I'll go on like TikTok Live, I guess. Would y'all, real question, if I was selling Lularoe stuff on live, would you buy it? Do y'all love me that enough? Love me that enough. Do y'all love me enough? Someone said yes and someone said no. Only because it's you. Y'all should not have said yes. This is not healthy. Everyone's saying yes. Don't. No matter who is selling Lularoe, don't. That's how we would know you were kidnapped. Yeah, if I'm selling Lularoe, maybe check on me. See if I'm okay. No, they're still in business. I could join today if I wanted to. Anyway, imagine if I did that. At the end of this stream, I was like, and now I'm going to join Lularoe. And then I like pulled out a box and started selling it. That would be very funny. Okay, anyway. In late 2016, Lularoe began receiving many reports from customers of the leggings being ripped and developing holes easily, in some cases after being worn for the very first time. The problem became so prevalent that there was a drop-down menu on the customer service page that had an option for stinky leggings. And then January 2017, the Better Business Bureau downgraded the company's rating to an F in response to their failure to address the complaints and for issues with charging sales tax in places that do not levy sales tax on clothes. So the Better Business Bureau was like, fuck y'all. We see what you're doing. Not fully, but they did get in a little bit of trouble. So here's the leggings being stored outside. Here is some of them ripping. You can see pretty fucking bad. You can see even the patterns that didn't go in that failure slideshow are still fucking ugly. For those of you that want to see the pictures, come to Twitch. I'm a Walmart parking lot on Twitch. First link in my link tree. Thanks. And then this was to show how their quality changed. They started making cheaper stuff, but charging the same amount or even more. So this is top stitched. I don't really know what that means, but it's a type of stitching that's more expensive and uses more material, but it creates much cleaner lines and makes things look more high quality. Not top stitched a couple years later. So here's a shirt that was clearly stored in the sun. You can see the exact marks of where it was folded. And then here is leggings that have some mold in them before they are even open. It's hard to tell, but you can see if you look inside this little red square and like right below the red square on the white tag, you can see it's like that darkness is not print or paper, that's mold spores, because they were being stored outside. And these are not waterproof bags usually, so because they're not meant to be stored outside. So don't store them outside. So clearly they're having a ton of issues, but are people at least making money? Also, no. In 2016, the top 0.1% of Lularoe retailers made over $150,000 a month in bonuses, but 70% of retailers made $0. So if you're like Ashley and you were one of the first ones, you are living good. $150K a month in bonuses to that entire top 0.1%, which would not be that many people. And we'll look at bonus checks too. The MLM expert interviewed for the documentary said that the people, and I think this is about the Discover documentary. If you have seen Lularich, Discovery Plus also has a great documentary. I've seen both of them twice. Why am I so red? Anyway. Oh yeah, so people that joined early are the ones that make money, blah, blah, blah. We know all of this. So one consultant said that in her time at Lularoe, she spent about $76,000 on product and made about $83,000. So her net profit was less than 10K, but she was making huge amounts of commission every month due to her downline. So commission versus bonus. Commission is a cut of the sales you get. Bonus is for recruitment. Lularoe made bonus checks based on the number of sellers that they recruit, earning titles like trainer or mentor. So if you get X number of people, you're a trainer. If you get even more, you're a mentor. It levels up. With levels of women selling below them who often don't even make a small profit. So you don't get your bonuses based on the sales of the people below you. You get them based on the number of people below you. At one point, Ashley had 5,000 retailers on her team and was taking six-figure bonus checks each month. So the women that were being successful with this, they were being successful with this. Six-figure bonus checks is crazy. So this is a really fun graph that I love. This is from a lawsuit that we're going to talk about later, but it shows these are the different levels. I want to explain this. So on the left-hand side, it has the different levels. You can see mentor, coach, trainer, sponsor, retailer. Mentor is people like Ashley. Retailer is probably some of the people on this call. So the red is showing the total bonuses that were paid to this group of people. The green is showing retail profit. So not sales, but true profit. How much money did you make? And then the bottom is money. So the mentors in 2016 to 17 made around $400,000 in profit, but almost $3 million in bonuses were paid out to these mentors, which again is a very small group of people. Coaches, $770,000 in profit, almost $2 million in bonuses for recruitment. Trainers made about $5 million profit, $3 million from bonuses. Sponsors made about $7 million from, and again, this is not one person, this is that entire category of people. $7 million from profit, $900,000 from bonuses. But that's sponsors. Retailers, which the majority of people in the scheme are retailers, lost $4 million in profit. So they're out $4 million. That's sunk money. They spent it and they're not getting it back. I think I might have found their $4 million. I think it's somewhere in these mentors, coaches, and trainers bonuses. I was a coach. Slay. Chip Dip 953. How much was your bonus check? When did you quit? Do you want to, what's your phone number? Do you want me to call you? Okay, so I felt like this graph, and sorry to insult y'all, I didn't mean that we couldn't have girl bosses who made it all the way to mentor on this call. I meant that the people who reached mentor probably just statistically aren't here. There's not that many of them. Why did trainers have more bonuses than coaches? The only thing I could think is that it's easier to become a trainer and it's really hard to get to coach status, is what I would think. Is that like the trainer threshold is lower, so there's just more people in that group. I quit in 2019. Are you okay? Trashly, thank you for subscribing. Okay, so the hashtag because of Lularoe also encouraged sellers to post about their checks to recruit. So this woman's bonus checks. One is 1,000 and one is 3,455. And she said her name is Lularoe Lindsay Wheeler. Message me. I'm here to share my story and help others find their passion and freedom too. Want to know more? Listen to the founder of Lularoe at Deanne Lularoe today at 4 p.m. PST. Call into this number and give this access code. We'll have a why wanting to change. We'll all have a why for wanting to change, for wanting to be our own boss. What's your why? For me, Lularoe allows me to be the wife and mom I want to be, contribute not only to my family, but to my community. I have my mojo back thanks to taking a chance. Are you ready? I'm here to help. And then it shows her like on a cruise. It's giving find your why in education. It's gross. I'm grossed out. For those of you on TikTok, if you want to see the pictures of the checks, you have to come to Twitch. So I'm not 100% sure if this is accurate, but here's a rough idea of the structure. So you can see retailer, sponsor, trainer, go up to coach. There's mentor as well. And trainers got these watches as gifts. It's like a Lularoe. I don't know if this material is like actually gold. It says it's by Vestal. I don't know anything about watches. But on the back of the watch, it says, be the kind of leader that you would follow. So this was like a status thing. You know how the Mary Kay girlies get the pink car? This is the Lularoe version of the pink car. And this is the thing about the Mary Kay girlies. Speaking of MLMs, the company doesn't pay for the car. It's a like part of your compensation once you reach the certain level. And if you drop from that level, they take it back. And you have to pay for the insurance, the gas, all of that stuff. You're essentially leasing the car from the company, and they're covering the lease as long as you stay at a certain level. I remember my mom trying to sell enough to be put into the cruise draw. Even if you sell a ton, the cruise isn't a guarantee. It's a lease, exactly. Thank you for the pink car slander. Oh, that's boring. So, if you thought what we had talked about was crazy, it is about to get so fucking weirder. This is Deanne and Mark. These are the founders. Let's get to Gaslight City, because once the moldy legging things happened, it was really kind of downhill from there. So, also, quick announcement before we get into all of the crazy shit that we're going to get into. starting this upcoming week, so a week from today, class will be at 7 p.m. instead of 7:30. Historically, class has been at 7:30 Eastern. It is being changed to 7 p.m. The first week, I'll sit around for 30 minutes and chit chat just so everyone can kind of get used to this schedule, but wanted to make sure everyone knew. Next week, we will be here at 7 p.m., not 7:30, 7. Okay, so Mark and Deanne pressured consultants and corporate employees to share their why at conferences and events. Elijah Tucker, a former hype man at events, so they would hire people to just like dance and hype people up at these events. Elijah Tucker described it as a sob story to make you relate. At one conference, after having Elijah share his why, Deanne pulled Elijah's mom, who had no idea what Lularoe was, out of the crowd and brought her on stage and onboarded her in front of thousands of people. Of course there's a quiz today, and it's not a quiz, it's a fun trivia game. They hired the girl wash your face author. Oh my god, of course they did. Also, Elijah's why was that he wanted to be successful so his mom would never have to work a day in her life, but so I don't understand how he was like, my why is to take care of my mom. And then not at a later event, at that event, they said, Mom, get up here. Let's get you a job. Girl, wash your moldy legs. Let's onboard Mom. Let's get her in here. I bet the other consultants were pissed. They were like, damn, I had to wait 8 weeks and pay $5,000, and Elijah's mom just gets onboarded by Deanne fucking on stage. It's not fair. So Mark and Deanne often place the blame on consultants when they struggle to sell products. So this is a quote from them. It says, if your business has taken a dip, it's because you took a slow thought process and you've got yourself thinking about the negativity. I'm so confused. I have no answers, but only questions. Here is a video of Deanne. This is pretty iconic. I'm not gonna lie, this is hilarious.
Sent me an email that said, I'm just so upset because my business can't succeed because I don't have the leggings to take care of all my customers. Well, guess what? Then you're obviously in the wrong business. And I'm here to tell you, I love you, but we created this business without leggings and we have succeeded tremendously. If you were to look on all of the orders that are sent out, the top 5 items that are being ordered every day are not leggings. And when we do get leggings, they order them, which is fine. But I will tell you,
cartoonishly evil is perfect.
I heard people say, maybe you should slow down onboarding because we can't get merchandise. Well, guess what? They're only ordering what we have in stock. So if you're trying to order something that we don't have in stock, hang tight. Your orders are going to get filled.
So that's Deanne. Like, that's the leadership. It's giving evil Dolly Parton. She's just Dolly Parton on a different timeline. When one former consultant, Christina Hinks, began speaking out against Lularoe on her blog in 2016, she reportedly received death threats and hate mail. People showed up at her door to threaten her. Meanwhile, Deanne encouraged employees and consultants to block all the trolls. So anyone in the Facebook groups that was like, hey, I got my leggings and they're extremely moldy, they were like, block them. Delete that comment, girl boss. This is just what I was saying. If anyone said something negative about the company or their products on social media, consultants were instructed to immediately delete it. A conference speaker said, be an editor. Use that delete button. It's really powerful when speaking about using social media to grow your business. It's like HR writing fake reviews on Glassdoor. I think that my work somehow paid Glassdoor to take down a bunch of negative reviews. Because there were a bunch of negative reviews and then they just disappeared. The fuck's going on with that? The Mormonism of retail. Don't let the actions of your own consequences keep you from following your dreams, girl. Never give up, girl boss. You're in too far now. Who texted me? All Lularoe orders sent to consultants were surprise orders, meaning consultants never knew what they'd be getting. One consultant described the orders as addicting and said they felt like they were playing a scratch-off lottery ticket. There's a ton of pressure on consultants to constantly grow their inventory, aka spend more money to buy more product. I made about $60K within my first year, and I took all that money and threw it right back in. Lularoe's annual cruise was and is one of the ultimate incentives for its consultants. In order to qualify, consultants have to sell $12,000 worth of merchandise for 6 months straight. They also threw large events and conferences where you had to meet the sales threshold to attend. But many of these events were required for team leaders, but they didn't pay for your airfare, your hotel, any of that shit. You were just getting invited to the event. And I think the cruise you might have had to pay for. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure about the cruise. Cruises are like only $2,000. What the heck? Lularoe is here for the money. Carnival cruises go for like $300 out of Miami. Come on. These were long cruises though. They're like a week long. So here's the Lularoe cruise. This is my nightmare. I'm scared. So my question, did they have the whole ship or no? Because one time my mom does like business speaking, and she got invited to speak. A company was having a cruise thing, but it was like a real company. And they were like, they wanted to pay her to come speak, but they didn't rent the cruise ship. There were like 200 of them there. So they had like a conference room and like all that, but it wasn't. So I wonder if Lularoe had the whole ship. This is terrifying. This is absolutely terrifying. It's like the Backstreet Boys cruise. They rented it out. Imagine going on a cruise and half the ship is Lularoe. Imagine they go on a cruise and they're like, by the end of this cruise, even though we only make up a third of the cruise goers, by the end of the cruise, I want 100% of these people onboarded and selling Lularoe. I want them on Facebook Live. Everyone's buying the Wi-Fi package. Also, that woman, what was her name? I lost it. Lachey, I think. She was the administrative assistant. I want to get her name right. What was it? I don't remember. I should have remembered what slide I was on. I think it was Lachey. Anyway, Lachey was saying that she did get invited to go on the cruise, but she decided not to. And she said, she was like, I just don't want to go on a cruise with a whole bunch of white people. She was like, there's not that many of us there. Pretty much everyone there was white, and I just didn't want to be on a cruise out there. She was like, no shade to anybody. I just didn't want to go. And I was like, that's real. Like, she was like, just us in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by all that water. Like, that is a lot. That is a lot. The cruise smelled like moldy leggings and scams. Oh my god. Okay, so Mark and Deanne were treated like celebrities, more like gods in the Lularoe community. In fact, one year, Deanne and Mark had their head designer sell leggings with their faces on them. So someone sent me a link to a shirt with Mark on it. Here's Deanne on some Christmas leggings. Then, this is wild, the Tijuana skinnies era. So Lularoe founder reportedly was sending overweight employees to Mexico to get gastric surgery. Deanne asked if she had any interest in getting gastric surgery. She's like, Courtney, oh my God, you have to go get it. I'll have my sister call you next week. Former top consultant Courtney Harwood told Bloomberg. According to Bloomberg, 4 other consultants claimed that they had been approached by Deanne or her sister Lene and told that they could be taken to a clinic in Tijuana called Obesity Not For Me to get a gastric sleeve. I don't really know medically what that is. This is in the game, and I just put weight loss. Leanne charges $5,000, but it only cost $4,000. You pay her through PayPal. She takes a cut, then takes you to Mexico. Consultant Courtney says the sisters refer to themselves as the Tijuana Skinnies. Stacy Christina, a Lularoe consultant, told Bloomberg. I was told by Deanne herself that she likes all of her leaders to be a size small or medium. Here's a clip of her talking about this. Obesity not for me. Personal slogan is now obesity for me. I'm making tacos for dinner. I'm excited. Tijuana Skinnies sounds like a cigarette brand. That's me and my friends' group chat. I'm going to change it to that and see if they say anything. So that's kind of like her weight loss pick. They basically make your stomach the size of a banana. Yes, thank you. Skinny. What, can I get to the fucking part about her talking about it? Is that her cruise ship right there?
Hi, Deanne.
Hello, Dr. Mitchell.
Well, we have Deanne had surgery 23
Why does
months
this
ago.
seem like a funeral slideshow?
How many pounds did you lose, Deanne?
I've lost 72 pounds.
72 pounds. And tell me, how was your experience
She
with
looks like she's
whiskey
being held at
knuckling, and
gunpoint. I
also
don't think
Dr.
she is,
Michelle
but the vibes
after
are
the
just
surgery.
off.
Oh, I was really nervous in the very beginning because you don't know what to expect and you're kind of fearful but excited at the same
For
time.
those of you
I
on
was,
TikTok,
like,
to see the
more
video,
than
come to
excited,
Twitch.
only because I knew I was ready for a new beginning. And I knew that I was in a place where
It's always a new
I
beginning.
was done with
High school video
pre-diabetic,
project.
having high blood pressure, and I was so tired of dieting. I was tired.
Okay, so we're not going to watch all 12 minutes of this. You get the fucking point. But I just wanted to show that this is not something I made up or found on a gossip blog. Like, this is a real thing that's happening. Multiple consultants described being involved with Lularoe as being an occult. Not only were they pressured to look the same, dress the same, and devote all of their time to Lularoe, but when consultants decided to leave the company, they were immediately dropped and excommunicated. So here is all of them, and it's right, that's a lot of white people. Like, as a white people, like, I'm gonna say that this is a lot of white people, and it's like, I'm scared, like, I'm disturbed. Like, this is a sleep paralysis demon. This is that, that photo? Or that video. We've been waiting for you all summer, and we're so glad you're finally here. And then they open the door. This is the future of what's behind that door. All your sleep paralysis demons have a conference and have been waiting for your arrival. Stop. Okay, so at company events that seem more like religious celebrations, Mark would recite from the Book of Mormon, which I find very disturbing. Mark and Deanne are big believers in the prosperity gospel, which preaches that being financially successful means that you've been blessed and favored by God. Another quote. Want to know if you've been a good to your fellow man? Check your bank account. So they really said, if your business isn't doing well, it's because you're bad at being religious and you don't love God enough. And that's why he doesn't give you customers. So that seems like your fault too. Here is some clips of Mark. I'm not sure where this audio is from. It's like random compilations of him on various calls and events and things like that.
I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm hoping that when I pull them together that they will make the same sense to you that they make as they rattle around inside of my own head.
The transitions.
This is your company. This is your business. And so when people attack it, we take it very, very seriously. Normally, I ignore those things.
We take it seriously, so I ignore it.
Talking about them because I don't want to feed the negativity at all. But today, I feel like I have a responsibility to share with you what's happening and that we know about them, that we're focused, that we have adequate resources, that we budgeted for litigation.
Budgeted for litigation. Not really inspiring confidence.
From day one, we knew that as part of business in
He
America,
reminds me of the
the
My
bigger
Pillow
you
guy.
get, the more likely it is that you're going to get sued. That tells me something about their lawsuit. And what I'm thinking right now is that they would rather try it in a court of public opinion and make up stories and spread falsehoods and misinformation, trying to manipulate a situation. We are not afraid of that. Guys, you all know who we are. You know what we do.
Again, guys, we're playing a long game here. And so there will always be people that misunderstand who we are and portray things differently than what we know to be the truth. Don't get caught rubbernecking. I love that Deanne says that. Don't get caught rubbernecking. You go down there and you go head to head with the negativity. You cannot wrestle with the pig without getting a little mud on you. Don't wrestle with the pigs. Ignore them. Oh, geez, I'm going to pay for that comment too. But ignore that.
Boomer dad on Skype.
Focus on your business.
How terrible it is that you've got a pair of leggings with holes. Reach out back through our return department and let them know that you have a pair of leggings with holes. We will instantly give you credit for those products. When I say instantly, that was a poor choice of words. We don't do anything instantly around here. We do not expect you to sell flawed items. We do not expect.
Okay, so that's Mark. And you might be wondering, if this is a girl boss business, why is Mark so involved? What began as a way to offer women financial independence ended up being a trap. Apparently, retailers alleged that they were pressured to retire their husbands or earn enough money so that their spouses wouldn't have to work. So as things got further along, Mark and Dan was like, you should retire your husbands. He should help your business. And they would have the husbands take over operations for the wives. According to her ex-employees, Deanne regularly dispensed woman-to-woman advice, happily spouting fascinating womanhood-esque maxims about how to make your husband happy while taking it to a whole new level to suggest that wives should perform daily fellatio. So she would say, it's so easy to keep a man happy. You just have to get on your knees for 5 minutes a day and your husband will let you buy as much inventory as you want. And she was saying that they should retire their husbands and get the husbands involved in the business. Eventually, it became clear that Lularoe was pushing forth a very specific idea of what empowered women and families should look like. Heterosexual with the man in charge and everyone wearing patterned clothes. I also wanted to point out, this is a very common cult tactic to try and get as much of your life involved as possible to make it much harder to leave. Because if your husband has a viable income, it's going to be much easier for him to say, honey, you've spent 50 grand and not made anything. I think you should quit. As opposed to if both of you are involved in this. They always refer to husbands as your boyfriends. Why? There are so many fitness clothing brands that are just straight up cults. Just throw away the whole industry. I'm using Printful. It's not a cult. And allegedly they're sweatshop free. I think it's almost impossible to guarantee that. But I'm glad that they say that they're trying. And they say that they don't use sweatshops. That was very important to me. But anyway, back to Lularoe, who probably does use sweatshops. So, change is in the air and everyone is going to suffer. So in 2017, Lularoe changed the structure of their bonus to be more sales-based. So remember, before your bonus was based on how many people you recruited, now it's actually based on sales. So one retailer said that she went from receiving a $6,000 bonus per month to $800 per month. That's like an income stream that you took down, because $6,000 a month, that is a full income. You can take care of kids on $6 grand a month. I make like $4 grand a month and I live in a very expensive place. $6 grand a month is like a full-time income. $800 a month, not so much. They always talked about keeping it spicy in marriages, back to her mom's book. Oh my God. I'm so glad you're here, ChipDip953. I'm so lost here. I know someone who lost 20K selling for them. Jesus. At the same time, Lularoe also implemented a 100% buyback policy, which meant that retailers could return any unsold merchandise for a full refund, which resulted in two things happening. One, people who were on the fence about becoming retailers jumped in because now they felt like there was no risk. And there was also a mass exodus of retailers who just wanted to get out. So now that they have this buyback policy, you had a ton of people join and a ton of people leave. So more chaos, more work, all of that. Lularoe said that this 100% buyback policy had no expiration date and it would exist indefinitely. They allegedly refunded over $100 million due to this buyback policy, but many retailers said that they never received their refunds. In July 2017, Lularoe announced that they would no longer be offering the buyback program. So in April, they said it was going to last forever and there was no expiration date. And then in July, they said it's actually over. In addition, they stipulated that anyone who had a downline would not receive any refunds until their bonuses had been removed. So that basically means like until you're not making bonuses, you don't get refunds. Because if you're making bonuses, that means you're making money. So it's just like lost cost for running a business. Sorry, Miss Girl Queen. But if you're down low, they'll still give you a refund, I guess. All of the husbands who had quit their stable husband jobs like construction or IT analysts to sell Lularoe, realizing they're fucked. Think about the women that retired their husbands. Yep, I left during the buyback because when I joined, there were less than 5K consultants. Jillian, did you make money? Like if you were there with less than 5K, you must have been doing pretty okay, I'm guessing, if you had a downline. But yeah, that would suck to retire your husband. You got to get him back in the workforce. So why did they make this change? In 2017, Lularoe changed their policies to get away from being a pyramid scheme, according to Jordan Brandy, Deanne's son and Lularoe executive. Literal quote on video, we need to get away from being a pyramid scheme, okay? Sir, why would you say that? The way they have to explain that gap on their resume, I quit to sell leggings. I would have been like, a family member had a health emergency, and you don't need to say that your wife was scammed. You know, like you can keep that to yourself. And you, because you quit. So speaking of Nepo babies, random side note about her nephew. When Sam Scholes, Deanne's nephew, who served as their events director, resigned in 2017, and their events were a big deal, like the parties and the dancing and the music and all that. I made $2,000 in the first week, then only broke even in the end. Had to private message Deanne on Facebook to get my refund with the buyback. I'm glad that you made it though. And then Jillian said, I made a lot of money but never did anything like retire my husband. Slay to both of you. And I got out when I knew it was bad and have been anti-MLM since, period. We love that. I have also joined an MLM, so I really have a lot of empathy in this space. But anyway, he resigned, and then Lularoe lawyers sent him letters saying that after he left, they found multiple violations of company policy that would have caused them to have him fired if they had known beforehand. The way that's exactly what my old principal did. When I quit, he was like, well, I've been getting tons of complaints about how terrible you are. And I was like, dude, I won Teacher of the Year last year. What the fuck are you talking about? Very common crazy person tactic. Where was I? The rumors were that he was having relationships with multiple retailers, which he has said is not true. He then contacted Courtney, that woman that was talking about the husband retiring, and she said that Courtney's husband, she never retired him. Her husband was like, I'm not quitting my fucking job. But Courtney is the one that was talking about the weight loss thing too. But anyway, he contacted Courtney and other retailers who had left Lularoe, because remember, it's a cult. You can't talk, if you're in it, you can't talk to anyone who's out of it. He said he was investing in a marijuana farm and that he needed additional investors. He told one woman that if she invested $7K, she would get $14K back in 2 days. He said that the pot farm was being run by a Polynesian gang in Oregon. He later said that he was taken in by a Ponzi scheme and that he found out that the pot farm didn't even exist. And then he asked Courtney to invest $30K into a Wyclef concert that he was organizing and said she would receive $90K afterwards, and then sent her a picture of a stack of cash to prove that she would receive her investment plus more. And she did a reverse Google image search and saw it was a random picture of money he had stolen from the internet. So if someone has joined and left Lularoe, that shows that they are gonna look into things now. So maybe don't try and scam them. He for sure slept with a married consultant at one of the conferences. So fucking glad you're here. I put stay-at-home mom on my resume gap. Exactly. And you don't even have to put anything. Again, Jordan was the worst. I love that there's multiple people here who have firsthand experience with this. This is why I'm glad I'm kind of doing pop culture-y stuff more now, because it's just so fun. Where was I? Okay, so their lawsuit era begins. In October 2017, a class action lawsuit is filed against Lularoe by a former retailer for breach of contract due to the discontinued buyback program, and her case was settled in private arbitration. That means that they gave her money and she agreed that she would move on with her life, and usually they both agree to not talk about it after that, and it's handled privately. That's how most lawsuits get handled. Very normal. And over 50 lawsuits have been filed against the company in total. Another lawsuit filed by clothing manufacturer My Dyer, we talked about My Dyer, that's one of their manufacturers, claimed that Lularoe owed them $49 million. Mark and the CEO of My Dyer, Daniel Kang, were friends and a part of a group called the Ghost Squadron for rich guys who own Swedish luxury cars called Coincigs. What the fuck? And the My Dyer, so not only are they friends, they also are business partners, and now they're suing the clothing guy suing the Lularoe guy. The lawsuit accused Mark and Lularoe of hiding money in LLCs because they were going to be sued. Lularoe had dozens of LLCs. They set up 17 LLCs in just 1 month, which was December 2017. Lularoe countersued and said that My Dyer owed them money. How would someone you purchase stuff from, how would they owe you money? You gave them money. From Lularoe's 2018 summer convention, they hired Kelly Clarkson to perform instead of using money to issue refunds that had still not been paid. So while they have 50 lawsuits and multiple people that they owe refunds to, they hire Kelly Clarkson. Because why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? When you spend all of your money on Kelly Clarkson instead of settling your various lawsuits. Why the fuck not? You know? Yeah, there's no refund on that, but here's Kelly. I feel like Kelly Clarkson has a knack for being around evil people while not being evil. Like, I saw something on Twitter the other day that apparently a bunch of producers or a bunch of the employees on her show quit. And they were like, it is a terrifying and toxic environment. And then they said, Kelly doesn't know anything and she's really great. What's happening to Kelly Clarkson? And then January of 2019, the state of Washington sued the company. So it's one thing to be sued by a person or a business. That happens all the time in this godforsaken nation. To be sued by the state, that's scary. You did something really bad to get sued by the state. How is this company still in business? The fact that you did like a million hours of research on this. I do this every week. If you have never been to one of these, I do this every Wednesday, and it's always this research. I have 66 slides right now, which is normal for me. Normally I have between like 50 to 70. I fucking love the state of Washington. So State Attorney Bob Ferguson, filing suit in King County Superior Court, said in a statement, Lularoe tricked consumers into buying into its pyramid scheme with deceptive claims of high profits and refunds for unsold merchandise. Instead, many Washingtonians lost money and were left with piles of unsold merchandise and broken promises. It's time to hold Lularoe accountable for its deception. In its past 5 years, Lularoe has assembled a team of over 3,500 sellers in Washington alone, according to the Attorney General, but there are fewer than 2,000 still selling today. This was written a while ago, so I'm sure it's lower than 2,000. The Washington state lawsuit wants Lularoe to pay the top penalty of $2,000 per violation. That means for every retailer, they would owe $2,000. That fucking sucks. And is also demanding that the company pay back the customers. So, court unseals revealing docs in Lularoe pyramid case. The documents, which Lularoe unsuccessfully fought to keep sealed, cast the company's founders in an unfavorable light. Deposition excerpts included in the state's opposition motion filed by Lularoe to conclude the case in its favor show how ill-informed and at times ignorant the Lularoe leaders were and still are about the number of aspects related to their business. Lularoe founders and co-CEOs Deanne Stidham and Mark Stidham struggled to provide coherent answers to questions regarding FTC law, average earnings of distributors, and the company's one and only income disclosure statement, among other things. It's no surprise that a Washington State court denied Lularoe's motion for a summary judgment, permitting the case, which alleges that Lularoe has been a pyramid scheme, to proceed trial. So they tried to get out of it. They can't get out of it, so they were going to trial. Here's some examples of the deposition. When it comes to knowledge gaps, Lularoe co-CEO and co-president Brady has quite a few, including not knowing what her salary is. At her December 20th, 2019 deposition, Brady's answers went like this. How are you currently compensated? I don't know. Do you receive a paycheck? Yes. And what is your salary? I don't know. I will say, this is how you should talk to the police. But you should have a lawyer, and they can talk to them. Although Brady wasn't sure what her titles were for the company, she said, I'm not big on titles. She knew exactly how many, I love when you guys do the little heart, it's so fun. She knew exactly how many followers she had on Instagram, 92,000. So she doesn't know what her salary is, but she does know how many followers she has. While the law says that MLMers should not make income claims that are not representative of what a typical distributor will earn, even if those representations happen to be truthful, Brady made it clear at her deposition that she was ignorant of the law. Brady testified, this is Deanne, testified that as long as testimonials were truthful and done in person as opposed to on social media, she believed her distributors could make atypical income claims. The title of the post says, this is the question they asked her. The title of the post says, how much can you make with Lularoe? I sold $25,000 my first month. Is posting a statement like that consistent with Lularoe's policy? Deanne says, again, I would have to look at all the policies and review them, but I would assume no. Why not? Because it's on YouTube. It's not face-to-face. Would it be consistent with Lularoe policy for a retailer to tell prospective retailers that they made $25,000 in the first month if that was face-to-face? And she said, if they did it, they have every right to make whatever statements they can. This is we don't want people to lie. What the fuck is she talking about? And at her deposition, she was also asked why, this is hilarious to me, she was asked why she encouraged the company's top distributors to post their monthly bonus checks and gross sales to other distributors. Her answer, why not? I love it. It's inspiring and it gives people excitement. I'm going to write that down anytime I get held accountable for my actions. I love it. It's inspiring and it gives people excitement. Why did you curse in the middle of that meeting? Why not? I love it. It's inspiring and gives people excitement. Why did you show up 3.5 hours to work today? Why not? I love it. It's inspiring and it gives people excitement. It really, that's just a catch-all for everything. And then here is her posting, woo woo, this is from a while ago. This is an exhibit in the court case. You can see the sticker, exhibit 143. She posted this picture of her signing checks, and it says, woot woot, yahoo, look at what I get to do right now. Yes, I'm signing big bonus checks. Gotta love our amazing consultants. Like, she literally posted it on Instagram. Why did you run your business on a single Google sheet? Why not? I love it. It's inspiring. Deanne is a willing and enthusiastic participant in the arrangement, but when she's asked hardball questions about the company's finances in the deposition, she demurs, pretending not to know how much her employees were paid. She said, that's something Mark takes care of. I don't know. In a deposition, she's the CEO, and she's like, girl, I don't know. I do not know. It's giving, I'm a female, I don't remember names. And then the court ruled in 2021 that Lularoe had to pay $4.75 million to resolve the lawsuit. Attorney General Bob Ferguson announced that Lularoe will pay $4.7 million to resolve the consumer protection lawsuit, asserting that Lularoe is a pyramid scheme. The lawsuit asserted that Lularoe violated the Anti-Pyramid Scheme Act and Consumer Protection Act. This is why Washington could go after them, because Washington has much stricter laws about pyramid schemes. She said, I'm the CEO, not the CFO. Really? Wow. She kind of made a good point with that one. She was like, that's not my department. She's like, she thought CEO stood for Chief Excitement Officer. I hope she had a sign in her office that said Chief Excitement Officer. I'm going to send that to the CEO of the company I work for and see if he replies. I should email it to him. He's not going to reply. One time he replied to my email, though. Well, no, my manager emailed him and was like, redacted is great at doing work. And then he replied and was like, thanks for doing work. And I was like, woohoo! I need her and Elizabeth Holmes in the same room. Did you know that Elizabeth Holmes is serving her prison time at the same prison as Jen Shaw? Elizabeth, we're going to do a poll at the end where we decide what we're going to talk about next week, and Elizabeth Holmes is one of the choices. But anyway, back to the pyramid scheme lawsuit. In addition, Lularoe's deceptive misrepresentations regarding profitability. Ferguson's lawsuit challenged Lularoe's unlawful bonus structure and unfair refund policy. The resolution filed in blah, 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 blah prohibits Lularoe from operating as a pyramid scheme in Washington. Additionally, they must be more transparent with retailers to avoid future deception. For example, Lularoe must publish income disclosure statements that accurately details retailers' potential income. Ferguson will provide the $4 million to Washingtonians who were deceived by Lularoe's business practices. The Attorney General Office estimates approximately 3,000 Washingtonians will receive checks. Every Washingtonian retailer who lost money under Lularoe's pyramid scheme structure will receive restitution. The remaining $750,000 will partially reimburse the General Attorney's Office for investigating and bringing the lawsuit. I love when the government gives the money back to the people. They don't always do it, and I love it when they do it. Lularoe tricked Washingtonians into buying into, oh, we already said this. As a result, thousands lost money and 2 individuals made millions from their scheme. Washingtonians deserve fairness and honesty and accountability for those who don't play by the rules. Period. So does Lularoe still exist today? Absolutely. Today, the company remains in business, although according to the docu-series, many Lula famous independent retailers have closed up shop. The current buy-in is $499 according to an income disclosure on the website. In 2020, over 50% of Lularoe retailers made less than $5,000 from sales alone. Deanne Stidham's Instagram boasts over 80,000 followers, but is currently private. We should all try and follow her right now. The company account, however, continues to promote their clothing and freedom and opportunity to provide their retailers. Before Lularoe, Erin and her husband had stressful jobs, one caption reads. She shares how having her own business has been a stress relief because they are working from home, spending more time with their kids, and attending all of their activities. From a 2021 recent Instagram post, Lularoe said they have 17,000 active retailers, a far cry from the 80,000 back in 2017, and that was in 2021. I'm sure it has not gone up. So, the iconic Mary Brown is one of the top Lularoe retailers. Here is some pics of her in her Lularoe clothing. Now let's watch some of her live stream of Lularoe. Why aren't you working? There we go.
Small is 6'8". There's no such thing as a 3'6". I'm 5'8.5", Donna.
Yeah, Donna.
Stephanie, the pants are 52.
She yells at the people on live. It's my favorite.
Do we get all the questions for a second so I can continue on? Have your size. I am sorry. It probably got sold another day. Okay, so Chris, panda is my claim word. You don't have to buy them, Judy, if they're too high for you, okay? I don't force anybody to buy because that would be rude of me. Panda.
Mary Brown is closing her Lularoe store? Let me Google this.
Panda.
The way she says people's names like an
So
insult.
you're not going to put a panda in is a promo code. You're not going to look for panda on the website. There's no discount code, Summer. I'm not giving Summer.
You're right. She is.
Clothes you wear always look too tight and too small. Wow. Okay. You're so cute and a little ray of sunshine. Thank you for sharing.
But she still had an active website, so I'm confused.
Here's this thing.
Oh no, this doesn't say. It says shocks fans with
like
continued
jackets with
partnership. I
open
think she's
look.
still a part of it. Christine stopped selling it. It seems like Mary's still a part of it.
Boots anyway. So, if you're going to like body shame me, listen. That's just like weird and awkward.
I don't think she's left,
what
but Christine
I hope for you is that you can be a kind person and quit body shaming people because that's not cool. Life tips by Mary. I'm going to release you because I don't need your energy in here. Okay, bye.
So that's just objectively hilarious. So before we get into our lovely little trivia game, I wanted to thank everyone for being here. Feel free to stick around for the trivia game. You can play or just watch and you'll be able to see the questions. And I also wanted to again make the announcement that starting this upcoming week, class will be at 7 p.m. instead of 7:30. And this upcoming week, I will hang out for 30 minutes and chit chat before we get into the topic, just to give everyone a nice little adjustment period in case you forget. So I'm going to release you because I don't need your energy in here, keeping this on deck. So if you enjoy coming to my classes, make sure you're here at 7 p.m. from now on. Thank you again. We hope we're happy about the new schedule. And let's go ahead and get into the trivia game. So I am going to put the code on the screen and put the link in the chat. There's your chat. Let me actually pick one. Which one do we want to do? I don't want the sound to be on you guys' devices. Underwater, because everyone's underwater in debt. So I'm going to put the code on the screen. If you want to play the trivia game, it's free. I'm not going to ask for your email. There's no catch. I just want to play a fun game with you guys. Go to join.nearpod.com. You can do this on your phone. You can do it in a new tab. If you're on a computer, if you're on your TV, just do it on your phone. The phone, it's like literally the exact same experience. And then it's going to ask you to enter a code. My code today is J5DWE. J5DWE. And then it's going to ask you to enter your name. Your name will pop up. So put a little joke. Don't put a slur. Don't put anything offensive. But you can put your name, and it'll pop up, and you'll pick a little character. J for Jim Michelle. Stop. A lonely orphan Lularoe girl choosing the octopus because it's funnier when the fish wear helmets underwater. So you can pick a little character, and you'll be able to see your little character running up the underwater mountain. So I'll give you a couple more minutes to join. There's already 59 people on there, and then we'll play a fun little trivia game. And go to join.nearpod.com, and the code is J5DWE. Fox for life. The things I would do to have had you as a high school teacher, OMG. I really, like, that was the moment. Like, those kids were lucky. I'm going to their graduation soon. I'm really excited about it. Because the last year that I taught, I felt like I bonded the most with those kids, and I had the best classroom management and the best vibe. I think it's because I had a mental breakdown at the beginning of the year because I was going through a breakup. And, like, so when they saw me at my low, I didn't tell them I was going through a breakup, but I was just, like, very unwell at the beginning of the year, and I would take forever to grade their papers. I think they were like, this woman is unwell, and it made them be nice to me. And then it just was uphill from there. The code is J5DWE. Love that you're going to their graduation. Of course. At first, I didn't think I was going to get to go because you have to have a ticket, and they only give a couple kids, or they only give a couple tickets to each kid, and obviously you're going to pick, like, your fucking family over your teacher that quit in the middle of the year. But someone's family member couldn't go because something happened really last minute. So I get to go now. Guilt tripping is my fave management style. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit start on the game. There's 121 people. If you have not joined, it will let you join late, but I'm going to go ahead and hit start. Oh my God, there's 124 people. I'll give you a couple seconds. I'll give you 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. The code, go to join.nearpod.com, and the code is J5DWE. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there's 131 people. I'm hitting start. What did we talk about today? Love this theme. What was Lularoe's first product? Sorry, sometimes I get on my phone and I get distracted and forget you guys are here. No offense. Love you. I missed class today. It'll be on YouTube, don't worry. Who was some of the first Lularoe staff? Oh, my nose is stuffy. Damn, I can't read. Tough. Becca's in first place. We got Trash Sunsets in second, and then Allie, then Tanya Harding Shoelace. Your answer is C, Mark and Deanne's kids. What religion are the Lularoe founders? When will this video go on YouTube? It should be there by tomorrow. I always click upload before I go to bed because it takes a few hours, and usually when I wake up it's done, but sometimes I wake up and it had an error, so it's not there yet, and then I end up putting it up sometime the next day. Is there going to be a study guide? Y'all are hilarious. What was the startup cost at Lularoe's peak? Make sure you're reading. This one should go on YouTube fast because I run into issues when I show lots of clips from TV shows because they get copyrighted, so I have to like cut that part out to get rid of the error message to let it post. Your answer here was D. $5,000 to $10,000 was the startup cost. Never trust a woman named Deanne. What gift did the trainers get? Also, for those of you that got here late, this is my merch. It'll be out in probably 2 weeks. This is the sports bra, this same design. It says Body by Ibuprofen, and then it says a Walmart parking lot on the little pill bottle. This design will be available on t-shirts, tank tops, and tote bags as well. And it'll be out in roughly 2 weeks, so keep an eye out for that. That's not very Mormon, an IUD. Well, it's a wrong answer. The answer is a watch. What cosmetic surgery were retailers encouraged to get? BBL, the knee surgery that makes you taller, weight loss, or boob jobs. An IUD from the lady with 14 kids. She knows it best. Who here can sell me a shitty Lularoe IUD? Honestly, I hustle the fuck out of some leggings for a BBL. They made them pay for the weight loss surgery. A BBL is a Brazilian butt lift. I live in Miami, so they're very common here. What performer did Lularoe spend their money on? Tupac, Kelly Clarkson, Miley Cyrus, or Jordan Sparks? An IUD that will be moldy. I love the people on TikTok just answering in the chat. Iconic. No air, just mold. It was Miss Kelly Clarkson. Jordan Sparks just feels right. It did to me too. I thought of it and I was like, oh my god. Next week, my Nearpod name will be a moldy IUD parking lot. What state sued Lularoe? W state, honestly. God, my teeth hurt so fucking bad. At least they look good. They look so much better on TikTok because it has a beauty filter. Tupac is alive and only came out of hiding to perform for Lularoe. Stop. All right, last question. Which TLC star is a top Lularoe retailer? Love the legitimate distractors as answer options. Good job. Thank you. What can I say? Teacher at heart. Teacher for life. The Long Island medium as a part of an MLM is hilarious. If they got Tupac, it would have been worth it. I would have joined. Alrighty, nice job. In first place, we have Emma, and then we have a Lularoe parking lot, Polynesian Gang and Oregon Chief Excitement Officer, Allie, Rex's new what this, hot dog leggings, Tanya Harding's shoelaces, Zaxby's parking lot, Emmeline. Do we work together? Hey girl. Laurel, Michaela, a Quick Trip parking lot, Slay, Superstore parking lot, Lula Legal Problems, Beck, Deanne's Gastric Bypass, Alex, Lula Nope, Mary Brown, Trash Panda, Rachel V. Joe, and I will scroll through the rest. I see Moldy Leggings. Bye Baby Angel, good to see you as always. Gas Station Roller, good to see you as always. Chip, so glad you were here to tell us about your experience. A dispensary parking lot, good to see you. Fanny Pack 420, Plants for Life, nice job. Looks like we all did very well in this game today. Last thing before we go, what do we want to have class about next week? Our choices are, actually I lied, I don't want to do Amanda Bynes. Your choices are A and B, pretend that C doesn't exist. Your choices are the Villages Retirement Community. They have a bunch of weird sex shit going on there. So just to give you a preview, in the Villages, if you put certain colored loofahs on your car, that means what you're into. So like swapping wives, swapping husbands, big groups, small groups, all the different colors mean different things. And the Villages has a very high rate of STDs. So your choices are the Villages Retirement Community or Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes was the woman that started Theranos, which she got in trouble for doing fraud because she created a company and what she was saying she could do, she couldn't do because that technology is not real. And now she just reported to prison, and she just reported to the same prison as Jen Shaw. So do we want to do Elizabeth Holmes, or do we want, I like how the Elizabeth Holmes started growing when I said it. So what her business was, is she was like, I have this machine that if you prick your finger, like at like CVS, and do this little blood test, it can pre-screen you for cancer and all these diseases before any other test. And people invested shit tons of money in her. But there were no actual like doctors or scientists at her company. It was just like tech bros and business people. So everyone was just like throwing money at her. And then eventually it came out that what she said she had, she doesn't have, because that's not fucking real. Okay. I'm seeing the Villages still appears to be taking over. We will go with the Villages. And I forgot to put you guys a little collaborate board on here. But here, I can do one. Can I? No. Close whiteboard. Add an activity. I can't do a collaborate board, I'm sorry. But thank you so much for being here. Great as always. I will see you here at 7 p.m. next week. Holmes had a baby while on probation, thinking she wouldn't get as much time, and she got 11 years. Yeah, I don't know why she thought that would work. Thank you for being here. This is the highlight of my week every week. I hope to see you here next week. We will be here at 7 p.m. and we will be talking about the Villages Retirement Community. And yeah, unless I start Googling it and it seems like it's going to be boring, then we won't talk about it. But I'm thinking that'll be good because we're already going to do the 30 minutes, so then it'll be shorter. It'll be perfect. Okay, but this was great. See you next week. Peace and love. And I will also be here streaming on Mondays for the summer at lunchtime playing some games. But I will let you go to sleep. Good night. See you soon. TT